folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. I am doing my best today. We have just a lot of heat coming up here. I'm trying my best not to have my brain melt or anything. I think that I got a good thing going. I've got like 3 fans in here. Rihanna, if you're listening and you hear like a lot of fan noise, because I have one of the fans blowing right towards me and right towards the mic, let me know, and I can adjust. I've got a portable air conditioning unit that's running in an adjacent room. It's helping a little bit, but we're gonna try and see if we can fix that going forward and having it in here. Because right now, according to what we've got over there, it is 91 degrees in this place. So, like I said, I'm going to try and do my best. It does happen a lot where when I'm up here and it's super hot, I get kind of loopy. So I'm going to try and see if I can avoid those kind of things. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I've got some stuff to test again because we've got some new channel point rewards. I think only one of them is showing, and that's fine because the other ones are not unlocked yet. I want to try the advertising test. I want to try like the quote-unquote in-house commercial and everything. So there's a lot to do today. And you'll also notice, of course, we're doing a little bit of work on the map that we're working on. So right now we are working on the south wing of the Forgotten Keep. I still have to do some work on the Mountain Wizard Tower map. That map itself is kind of done. There might be a little bit more work that I have to do on the ravine, but I definitely have to do more work on the adjacent map because they are kind of like a 2-for-1 deal, and I do want to make sure that that is adequately represented. I think that map duo would look really well at a convention. We definitely had a lot of people who liked the... Oh, what's going on there? Why you not like me anymore? We definitely had a lot of people who, it seemed, enjoyed some of the prettier maps that we had, and I think that is a very pretty map. So I'm looking forward to showing that off a little bit. But that is for later. We did a little bit of practice work on Folly's Glen. That is, I think, the next map after this one, if not the north map of the Savannah. So we've got a lot coming up, but we'll take it bit by bit. So let's focus on this map instead. Right now you can see that I've got the kind of mock-up of the map that we had back in the day on the screen right now. So this is the map up here that you can see is the map that we used when we were doing the campaign that we were previously working with. So my group in my campaign has already gone through this. You'll notice we've got an existing map down here that we used for... I basically just moved off of this map because I wanted to make sure that we kept the same art style for everything. I want to keep things pretty consistent. But the one thing that we are going to change, if we go to our line tool, we're going to make sure that we're using the... I believe it is the brick wall. Let's give it a test real quick. So we want that snapped to the grid. And let's do something like that. I believe that is wrong. Let's actually just go and grab the thing from the other side. So this is a stone wall. And let's, while we're at it, and we come up here. This guy here? Yep. Let's change it to 30, because that should keep it relatively the same size. We're still going to use the pen tool. And now if we throw that down, that looks pretty good. They're currently using caps, and we don't use caps in any of the work that we've been doing so far. So we'll just do it something like that for now. We might do, you can see if you do caps, you do it for path ending, you can do nodes as well. So if I was doing something like this, it doesn't just do it at the end, it does it everywhere. Now the caps that we're kind of playing with doesn't quite do what I want it to. If I was going to do a cap, I would kind of want like a square post instead of one of these guys. So we probably won't go that route. And that's fine. We're not We're not beholden to anything, but what we're going to do is, again, grab this and start to paint over the stuff that we have. So you'll notice I usually put in these Forgotten Keep maps this kind of like obsidian looking border, which probably is not sized correctly, but it's just really to help the user kind of conceptualize, all right, like this is all emptiness and then this is like a border for the map itself. What we're going to do is the door is going to be right there. We can do more portals later, but we know at least that that's the door right there. Let's do this real quick. I've got this locked. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to throw it one layer further down. There we go. So let's grab this. It'll give us the stuff to work with again, and then we'll... Oh, not that. And then we'll just be able to continue moving down. So we'll do our portals where we can after we move. Oh, you know what? All these things still have the caps. I thought I turned you off. Things you'll never hear a man say on his own. Yeah, you don't even need the caps. They actually look a lot smoother than the typical stuff that we have. Alright, let's keep going. Everything is looking good. So one of the things that you'll notice in the Forgotten Keep stuff that we're doing, we typically have 3 floors. We had it in the first map just by default, and I added a 3rd floor to our east wing that we didn't have before. So we're likely going to do that here as well. Thus far we've had a basement level for everything, so I think we're going to do that here as well. So we're going to have, let's just do that, and then we'll do the other stuff down below. So what we're going to end up doing, oh, Pickledorf says, hello, making dinner, and then unfortunately running around to move fridge stuff to neighbor's house before stuff goes bad. Yeah, Matt had a rough time yesterday. I thought I was the only one having a tough time. Matt ended up having a freezer crisis where that failed, and I get that. We had the opposite problem yesterday. We had a hot stuff problem. Our heater in our boiler room was getting its annual inspection, and we learned that the pipes leading up into the... Hello there, bee-hums! How's it going, Brett? We learned that our chimney was filled with debris from bird nests and stuff like that, and we had to clean that out before they would certify it, so it was a big, long, drawn-out process. Not a fun one that I would recommend to most people. Alright, we've got a lot of these. God bless yous. We got a lot of text stuff. Let's see if we're able to get all the text. Looks like it's just here. Get rid of that. That'll be a little cleaner. Aw, I'm jealous. Britt had ice cream. You know what? I had ice cream. You're not special. We had M&M cookie sandwiches, and they were pretty good. But I have like an infinite ice cream belly, so I kind of get it. Matt wants to know what kind, Britt. Alright, we're going to do another layer of wall over here, but I might change some of that as we go. Putting that there so that we can kind of insinuate that this pathway goes up, 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 and then this one's going to go down. It might be a little different than we did in the original campaign that I ran, but we'll play it by ear. So when we ran our campaign, this whole area was, I think, filled with spikes. Because I run my... Oh, Reese's Sunday is a good ice cream, too. I am also jealous. Alright. I'm just going to do everything from scratch. the only thing that I really wanted was the walls and the brushes and stuff like that. So let's do this and get rid of some of this stuff. You know, we'll grab the doors. We'll put a door up here so I can just grab one and move on. Both Pickledorf and B Hums are going to be future players for our Quantum Quest live sessions. That should be a lot of fun for everybody. In fact, let's do... I'm going to have to do a commercial anyway, so we're going to try and test to make sure this still works. So I'm going to go to a 90-second commercial. We'll test to see if it works, and then when that... Well, you know what? Here, we'll do a minute. Let's do the timer. You guys can see if it works. Is it working? Doesn't look like it's working. My darn thing is acting up, and I don't know why. So I'll have to manually do that. What we'll do is after this 40 seconds is up, we'll run that 90-second ad. And then when you come back from that, I will run the QQ preview for our live events. We've got Pickledorf and B Hums are both going to be future players in those. They actually will be going head-to-head with two other players that we'll announce at another time. But that game, I believe, is our July 4th game. So we've got a little bit of time before that comes out. Let's keep working on the map in the meantime while the timer is counting down, and probably while we're gone as well. So I'm going to go into the path tool one more time, and we're going to... Actually, I guess I can just select it. And then we're going to start working on the nodes and opening portals. All right, timer says it's good to go, so let's see if I can turn that off. Nope, still acting up for whatever reason, so I'll have to manually turn that off. All right, in the meantime, we're going to go to our ad. No, we're not, apparently, because it's being a jerk. All right, let's see if I can do this manually. Is it commercial? Such a pain. I don't remember how to go to ads. So I had a slight issue earlier today, and I'm sure that's part of the reason that this is not playing nice with me. When I was running the air conditioner into my battery backup, it tripped everything. And I'm sure that's why we currently have this issue where I'm not going to commercial. Let me see if any of this stuff is working. Man. I got cute Maisies and cute Lunas that are supposed to come up with a push of a button and then go off on their own. Ratfink. Alright, I feel like we're just gonna get the stuff manually, and we're going to get a pre-roll ad for some people before I can figure things out. But in the meantime, I did say that we were going to do the Quantum Quest preview, so let's head over there. I think this should work on its own, and then we'll head back when we're done. Now that our Twitch channel has reached affiliate status, we can start to do some really cool things. One of them is inviting you to play our tabletop dungeon diving game, Quantum Quest. Using our channel points, called Quest Coins, you can queue up for one of our forthcoming Tabletop Thursday games. In addition, as we amass more followers, we'll continue to add new ways for you to use your Quest Coins. Join us and see if you can escape the living dungeon. Alright, so there was your little preview for Quantum Quest. We're definitely going to keep talking about that, probably indefinitely, I would imagine. I might change things up as we get more followers, as we unlock more cool things. But that is, we're putting that together because we definitely want to invite our viewers to be able to jump in and join those games as well. So we did just unfortunately run a failed Kickstarter because I just dropped the ball big time with it. We had a convention that I was running at the same time, and there was no way for me to do things as well as I thought I was going to. And that's okay. I mean, there are always going to be little missteps in whatever journeys you're running. So so we know for next time now. All right. So we are going to put these nodes together. I think I should just be able to grab these one by one now. Ooh, maybe not. Gotta play a little bit differently with this. There we go. So put a node there, a node there. Grab this one. Do a node there. Let's do this door over here just to shake things up. This is going to be a node here. This is going to be a node here. And then we're not going to do anything too crazy with this. We might black out this area so that you can't see that stuff. But this is a good start. Let's do a save real quick. I should have saved while I was doing the ad for QQ, but it's okay. My brain is not super melted, just a tiny bit. Matt, are you paying enough attention now where you can look at the channel point and you can see the Q for QQ channel point reward for 3,000? Alright, we are going to go to this guy here. So that size is wrong. Let's see if we have... Well, that's okay. I don't need you to queue for it. You're one of the quote-unquote celebrity players. So I appreciate you looking. All right, we're going to keep these at the 99.99 just because I want to keep it consistent with the other maps. But let's do this. We're going to grab about that much area. We're going to apply. Let's actually cut the opacity back for that so that we can see enough. And then, so we're going to keep on doing this. We're going to use the different color patterns to, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. So we're using that color's darker. So we use this to help the player differentiate the, oh, you know what? That's like dead on, it feels like. So that was 115, and that was, oh, you know what it is? It's because of this. Let's get rid of this entirely. No, it still looks pretty darn close. We're going to come here and we're going to use this light one. Okay, that's good. That's a darker one. We'll use the light one here as well. Basically, anytime you have like alternating rooms, I like to use this lightness darkness motif just to help the players understand what they're looking for. Now, you do have situations like this where you have two rooms side by side, so I do typically tend to do something like this. So we'll use the slight, like the mid-tone, and then we'll use a darker one over here. Okay, and same thing over here. We'll use a dark one. And we'll go back to, let's do a medium one here. And then we'll do a light one here. And this one's a little bit weird because there's no door in between. So we'll just extend the light one there, and then here we'll do dark. So this is kind of like where the boss chamber will be for this wing. So we don't need that. We don't need that or that. So we should be good there. Let's get rid of these pieces. Don't need these. Let's actually do those pieces there, and let's do maybe that medium here. And we'll do the light one here, and we'll go even lighter. So we'll go to 140. Apply that there, and that'll look like you're going up towards the second floor. Now, in the meantime, we got to cut all this other gunk out. So let's go to our, I think that's obsidian. Nope, just shadow. And that is perfectly fine. Perfectly splendid. I'm getting a little bit of shadow over here, and I believe that is because, yep, we had a second piece of wall there. Make sure that we don't have any other things hiding out there, because got everything designed the way that I want it to be. Oh, I don't want to do a selection, I want to use the brush. So grab that there. Oh, what is happening? Is that... Let's check this out. Let's go to this brush and look at this and see if it's foreground. Nope, it is not. It's just Inkarnate acting weird on me. Alright, let's do one more before we save, get out, and then go back in and see if it's playing nicer now. So we're good there. That one's problematic down there. Let's do a save. We'll step out, we'll step back in, see if it's playing nice. So one of the things that I learned about is there is a Chrome extension that lets you do profile switches like on the fly. So like I don't want, when we're doing the Talking Tellest, which is supposed to be a little bit more of like a professional podcast kind of experience, I don't want necessarily people to have my voice change or, you know, do jump scares or anything like that. And that profile, instead of me having to go in and check off whatever boxes I want to use, I can just click one button and it goes to whatever profile I want to apply. And I think as we move forward to other games and things like that, because I definitely want to do kind of variety stuff. I don't want to just do maps and Talking Tellest. And I was doing games before. I think maybe I was a little bit afraid of doing some of the games up here because of the heat issue. It's still 91 degrees up here as far as what my fan in the corner is saying, but I feel like once I get that all figured out, I won't be as hesitant to do these kind of things. And I would really like to be able to do like game specific you know, channel point rewards. That wasn't a brain melt, that was just me forgetting what the word is called. So those things, you could see, it's one of the things that happens when you have a computer that's a little bit on the slow side. A little bit. You have an issue where you can see I saved, went out, went in, and the piece that I had got rid of was actually gone. So sometimes you'll make whatever changes, the system will acknowledge it in a way, but it doesn't show you until you kind of clear it out. Your general IT stuff. Alright, let's do some doors since we're here in the area. Let's do a door there. Doesn't like this door. So we're going to take that off of the snap to grid and we're going to scooch it in right there. We also need to have a door over here. So one thing that you'll notice if you look at all of our Forgotten Keep stuff so far, the maps kind of all fold into a central point, but right now there's no way for that to do this with what we have. What we'll end up doing is an atypical smaller map, I think, on the inside, because typically we will do these 20 by 40s. I may change my mind and do a 20 by 40 that kind of has a central point. It's different than the way that we usually did things, and I actually can even show you. So this was the original map that we had. So we've already done the west wing and the east wing. We're moving to the south wing, and you can see pretty much everything that I already showed you was what we were working with. And then we had a roof fight where something was active. I don't honestly even remember what we were doing, but there was kind of like 4 bosses that the players had to defeat in order to get to the next phase of this map. And we've got this area here. We had 3 floors that were already planned over here, and then up here is going to be the other big challenge, I think, because it might be bigger than what we already have. No, it'll actually just fit, so we should be able to do everything there. There is this was kind of like a rolling disc puzzle. So it was kind of like if you ever played those, and we'll talk about this more when we're actually doing this map, but just for people who've been following along for a while, this map was kind of like Earth themed. So each of the wings had a theme. We had fire on the east side, water on the west side. This one was like an Earth-based puzzle. So if you've ever played those like logic puzzles where you're trying to get like a car out of a parking lot, it's basically this. So you needed to move this rock out of the area, and it unlocked something or other. And then down here, what we're going to do is, I believe it's this room right here. We called it the airlock puzzle, and it's more like it's to test your adventurers and your players and see how they would react with one another in a kind of very dangerous kind of perspective. Whatever amount of players you're playing with, there's going to be little alcoves in the sides of this room that you could stand in, and the ceiling starts to drop. And there's no way to change the ceiling from dropping or anything like that. You're really just trying, it's a social experiment. You're trying to see how your players are going to react, how your adventurers are going to react. We had a character in our campaign who, he's such a good role player. He's one of those people who like doesn't really like appreciate how good he is at playing a character, and he does it so well. No matter what kind of character he's playing, he goes like 1,000% into this character. Like, he conveys it very well. And his character was very like self-sacrificial and everything like that, and he realized that you know, the other adventurers were in jeopardy, so he gave up his alcove. Whatever amount of players you have one less alcove than players and adventurers. So he gave up his and just said whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And by that point, I think they had already been through at least one wing. I mean, they were already in the prison. That's how everything started. They made their way through. I feel like this was the second to last one. So we're ending up doing things in order of the way that it was being played. So it was just a very cool little experience. Each one of them has a puzzle. This is a puzzle that really can't be defeated except to figure out what your players are going to do. I think we either gave him inspiration or a treasure or something like that, and it was just a fun little experience. But anyway, let's get back to the map itself. Let me minimize that so I can see any chats that come through. And let's keep on doing some doors, get them out of the way. The only thing that I'm now noticing is these doors, they do kind of, or these walls, they do kind of end a little bit abruptly, but I don't think that you'll notice them too much. If we need to, we can turn the caps back on, but I don't think that I need to at this point. And I might even be able to go and find, let's do a different door than this one. We'll do just an open door. Do I not have an open door? Nope. Slow computers do not work well. I thought that somewhere I had just kind of like the door frame. Just try and use this one. And that way it's not taking up all that space. See, this one's okay because you got the other stuff around it, so that's okay. I can work with that. Angry Meatball says, I'll be honest, never seen it done in Excel before. Twist on a classic. Yeah, I don't do it too often, but this was way back in the day before I had Inkarnate. I was using a map making software called Dungini, and we pronounced it Dungini, and it was easier for me to kind of do my planning on Excel. I mean, you've got people who do graph paper and stuff like that all the time, so I feel like I'm not the first one to do something quite like that. But all right, we're gonna do one more save just because we got a lot of doors that we just threw in there. Let me go to my Word doc. This is from, I want to say, like I can actually tell you, it was from 9 years ago. This was December 7th of 2015 that we were working on this map. Oh, everything runs so slow. Alright, I think what we'll do, again, we're talking about twists on some classics. Let's do this. We're going to go and get some spikes, because that was how you beat this boss back in the day. So we're going to get these wall spikes down here. We'll just use these ones. They alternate. We won't use these tiny ones. I do feel like that might be a little too long, the other ones. So let's do this. You don't necessarily have to see. Well, they are pretty different. So we are going to alternate these. Angry Meatball says, never made the jump away from paper myself. It looks like the sort of thing I might come up with myself. Well, there you go. Great minds think alike. Alright, and then we're going to do one more little guy, and we're going to try and position them a little nicer. Because I mentioned this at the beginning of this session. Originally, I only had the two floors, but I want to do a third floor for everyone in this set, since we started doing that once we moved to Inkarnate. And let's do one more of these, and we'll do them over here. Maybe we'll do something a little different, so that kind of looks a little off. So let's try and see if we can't do kind of like a diagonal. Maybe we can shrink these down. Nope, I don't like it. I'm okay with what we have. Let's get that document open. This again is from 9 years ago, so I do have to kind of remind myself of certain things. We've got the puzzles. Oh man, I have nothing. I have the southern wing was like armor golems and some of the tried and true kind of monster types that you would get, like gnolls and lizard folk and stuff like that. So really, this is going to be all by memory, because I don't think that we did much by way of recording our information. Let's do... I don't think that there's anything golem related. I do think we're able to do these gothic armor sets. We've got a big armor golem that's like the boss of this area, but we do know that we can use these guys in a couple of areas as well. So let's figure out which area makes the most sense for these guys. I don't want to keep them too close to the boss chamber. I want them to be kind of thematic and not be like, all right, one after another you're getting into these armor golem fights. So let's do it. We'll make it the second room. I don't want to pit anybody's adventures against an enemy as soon as they walk in to whatever floor of the dungeon. It should be set dressing, in my opinion. Let's do 4 sets of armor. I might change the color. And this little area, and we could make it like that Zelda style. Maybe if you touch one of them, they come to life. I mean, it's not up to me. It's up to the game master. But this is what they could do if they wanted to. And we'll mention something like that in the point of interest documents that we create. So let's do something like that. We'll desaturate it somewhat, and then let's change the color to be a little bit more like bluish. So let's do something like that. Cora's colors. This is Cora's Keep, the Forgotten Keep, and she typically embraces the color blue, so we'll do that. Let's do this. Let's see if we can't find... We'll make this like the blacksmith's area. So we'll do like a forge or an anvil or something. I feel like she would have a dwarven blacksmith. So we're just going to throw some stuff down and rearrange things later as we go. Should have a nice little forge here. Still active. might change the position of that, because that kind of doesn't make sense. But it kind of does. It's fine. Let's see if we can't get a slack tub going. No slack. Maybe tub. Alrighty. So we've got test tubes. We've got wooden tubs, brass tubs. I feel like there was a sink that we could use. There we go. I feel like that's not going to do quite what we want it to. They look too sinky. Let's do a tub one more time. If it wasn't for the faucet here, it wouldn't look terrible. Let's see if we can't do something about that. So if we hide that, I have to ruminate on that a little bit. It might not be quite to my liking, but especially the positioning. I feel like for a blacksmith setup, where you've got the forge, the slack tub, and the anvil, you almost need like the sink dishwasher, or I'm sorry, the oven dishwasher. I guess sink, not dishwasher. Oven, sink, refrigerator setup. You need that triangle. And I feel like if you've got hot stuff, you're going to put it over here, and then the tub is going to be elsewhere. I don't really know the position that an anvil is supposed to be. Let's put it there. And then let's go and let's find a barrel that we can use. Got this one here, which might do the trick. Same kind of thing, same general concept. And let's get rid of that tub. This tub, it looks nice in some ways, but I feel like it's not going to serve our purpose the way that we want it to. So let's do... let's find a table for this guy to set his wares on. Not really wares, he's not selling them, he's building them for people in the castle, so to speak. And that table is dwarven, but it looks a little too snazzy. I feel like Gothic horror is a little too... I don't like it. We'll just put it that way. Let's do something like this. We'll use the Nordic style table. Let's put it... Let's shrink it down. It doesn't need to be that big. Let's try and do something like this. Let's scooch this guy under, actually. In a lot of cases, you can do like a screen over top of it, and it looks pretty nice. I think there's actually... If I was doing this, you could do it with the counter, I think. So let's do this. If I layer these like this, and then I do a third one with the screen blend mode, well, it would help if I was doing it with the actual one that I wanted the screen with. Put that over. Nah, it doesn't quite work with that. It would work with the counter that you get from the tavern. So let's try that real quick. That might look better than the Nordic table situation that I have going on. So we've got this counter, bar table, so I'm going to put these two together, and then they've got this little piece here that you can actually layer on top, and then just by happenstance that looks good. I know that I've done the screening before with tables because I didn't have to use this piece before. Let's just use the screen just to make sure it's not screen. Let's grab our other table and we'll do that real quick. So maybe it was multiply? Maybe I've got the blend mode wrong? So again, I've got that over top. Let's try these blend modes real quick. It's not multiply. Lighten? Lighten is the one. Kind of disguises it to some extent. Don't think that I'm going to be able to do that with the rustic Nordic tables. If I take this and I go to lighten, you still see some of these pieces. They don't quite make sense. And that overlay just kind of looks icky. So it doesn't quite do what I want it to. Nordic would be good because it fits in with some of the other places that we've worked some stuff. But we don't need that. Let's do this stuff and see if we can get this to play a little nicer for us. We've got that. Got this. Let's try and make sure that we have similar sizes. So we'll move that up to 20. Move that up to 20. Excuse me. Definitely been talking to myself too much. Alright, and then we'll move the lighting over here. And there's a little bit of a weird inconsistency over here. You can see like the grain kind of shakes up a little bit, but I don't hate it. And we might be able to disguise that with some of the stuff that we're going to put on there anyway. And let's do a similar style over on the other end. Aw, man. I do like symmetry, even though sometimes it's problematic. So we're actually going to move that one down and go over. That could be fun too, because you could have it where, like, if the players like just launch the door open, it clatters against this area. All right, that's not that bad. I will tell you what's bad, though, and that is losing all your work. We're at 84 changes, which is a decent amount. So let's do a save. And we are getting close to wrapping things up. I'm hoping to do a little bit of this off stream tomorrow, and we'll do some more in this area at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully by then I've got the air conditioner situation figured out a little bit better in this room, because 90 degrees and map making do not go well together. I don't want that. You don't want that. You might want that. I don't know what you want to spend your channel points on. Let's do weapons. Alright, so we've got the Gothic horror stuff. We've got some shields. Nothing that I would use just yet. You know what? I gotta make sure that Sergey knows that we need some shields. And the nice thing is, we already have some references. Alright, we've got some tools. I don't think that you're going to see much by way of that. You might see a blacksmith hammer. I feel like that can kind of serve as a blacksmith hammer. Let's do that. We'll put it right on top of the anvil. Because the blacksmith, he ain't home. Yeah, there's a real lack of weaponry here. Yet another thing that I can get Sergey to help us make. Alright, now we're at the good stuff. So, this greatsword is going to be pretty darn big. I feel like we don't quite need it to be 8 feet tall. So let's do... I feel like a 5-foot sword is pretty good. So put that one there. Let's move on to a nice big hammer over here. Straight up and down. Doesn't always look great on these things. I don't feel like a lance makes a lot of sense. But those look good. No bow. Do some stuff like this is cool. Do the flail as well. that vertically, and then we can have these kind of side by side to a point. No whip. Maybe we could do a couple of daggers. You risk giving your players stuff to play with, and that's not always for the best. Let's see, what else do we got? Not a lot when it comes to this stuff. Just do a pirate sword. Not really in theme, but that is okay. I think the only other place to get a shield, if I'm not mistaken, is the watercolor areas. So yeah, we definitely need to talk to Sergey about getting some shields, because the hell shields, they ain't doing it. There you go. We'll do this little kite shield. It's in the watercolor set, but it honestly doesn't look that bad. And you know what? This is a versatile blacksmith, so let's do a helmet. And then we've got this one that we got from taking apart the... We'll do a couple of these. Although, one thing that you'll notice is we need to make the hue different, because it needs to be the same color as these columns down here, which are pretty big, to be perfectly honest. I think I have to bump mine up a little bit. So that's negative 180. So let's bump this up to... Let's actually check it out and make some comparisons. And we'll desaturate it a little bit, just so it looks better. So it just needed to be twice the size. So we'll throw that over here. Alright, I tell you what, this was a good start. We did everything from Excel, threw together some set pieces. Definitely still needs to go through some more TLC, and I'll try and figure out if there was anywhere that I had additional information. And if not, we'll just wing it, but that'll be a tomorrow Mike job, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's do a save, and while it's saving, I will go to our show closing. So folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start. It'll usually bring you to the other projects that we're working on, but if you do want to go to a couple of the places that we have premium goods, you can go to patreon.com/Tellest to get our digital goods. That includes these maps that you just saw today. We currently have, I believe, 82 maps on the Patreon. Chalky Mork is a very good idea. I appreciate you. Let's do it. What else do we got? On Patreon, we also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm just realizing today's a Tuesday, and I didn't put anything up, so I'm going to have to do that tonight before bed. We do art posts from the world of Tellest, but Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays is some kind of TTRPG thing. Usually we're doing a map, a bonus scene, a point of interest document, something like that. And then if you want to go to our Etsy store, you can go to tellest.etsy.com. That will take you to our physical premium goods. You can usually get our maps on there. I think we're up to 44 of our maps on these beautiful polyester map. Now my brain is starting to melt. 20 by 40 inch polyester game pads that look great. We had them at the convention. People really loved them. But on top of that, you can also at the Etsy store find posters, books, our Quantum Quest game, all kinds of stuff like that. And you can also find Rihanna's one-of-a-kind handcrafted magic wands. You can see more of them at tiktok.com/@weirdwitchwands. We didn't have any doggy co-hosts up here today because it is too hot and they don't like it anywhere near as I don't like it. But they just avoided this room. tiktok.com/@TalesOfTellest is where you can find them and their shenanigans and antics. The last two places that I'll bring your attention to are our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@WorldOfTellest, which is where you'll be able to see these after they've gone through the Twitch platform and have been kicked off. Twitch.tv/ThatTellestGuy is, of course, the only place that you can chat with us live. Use channel points. Queue up for future Quantum Quest games. Our first game is on, I believe it's the 26th of this month. and get ready to use your channel points in other cool ways, because as we get closer and closer to our next follower goal, which is 60 per Twitch but 70 for Quantum Quest, we'll be unlocking the first new way that you can use your channel points for those celebrity games, or the games that followers can queue up for as well. But that'll wrap us up for today. My brain is starting to melt officially, so I'm going to get downstairs where it's a little bit cooler. I appreciate you for dropping by, and I miss you.